Tommy, you require 142.
Similar to myself, somebody else that I know that's like that. And I think Tommy will know. Double 11 coming in here.
Game shot on the first leg.
1-4-2 to start us off on the evening.
Even that two treble turn does nothing for Tommy. Owens comes back for more. And this time doesn't pass the opportunity.
Sorry, Phil Morris has got to remain patient here. Minimum requirement is a dart at the ball here for Morris. He's going to get 2 at double 12.
Game shot and the match. Tommy Morris.
Tommy Morris takes that double 12, and I think we saw his reaction and how he feels with that.
Andy, you require 56.
And Kirk, everything could have been oh so different if he'd hit one of those 2 darts at a double. Davidson would not be running away with it here. That was the break of throw on Kirk's throw. Yeah, you don't think he's going to make a mistake here, do you? But that's a massive mistake. He really is starting to think, isn't he?
One dart at tops.
39.
Goes below. And Aidan Kirk must be thinking 40. Now, right, he can't get over the line here. I need to step in and punish. The only safety net he's got is he's got an open bed to aim at, but he's missed it. And the target that Kirk has just spurned 20. Is the one that Davidson wants for the win. To eventually get over the line. Double 5. And Davidson gets the win. He got out the traps flying, but then towards the finishing line had 1 or 2 nerves. But he's got the 2 points in the locker. He has got a 4-1 win.
Scott, you require 96.
He's the one you'd expect to go through the gears if anyone is in this match. And that's a 14-darter to square this contest up.
Yeah, there's no way he thought he was coming back the way that Scott Taylor's been hitting tops.
Big dart. Big hit. Rowlands moves 3-2 up. He staves off the Scott Taylor to get over the line, which is perhaps ironic after what Richard did yesterday.
Wow, from Richard as his dart.
60.
Oh. Last 2 darts he's thrown, that could be 2 that were on the floor.
The defending champion wants tops.
56.
But it catches dart 1. But he is going to come back.
Thank goodness. The last thing you want is to leave the room having thrown 2 darts that didn't find their target. But unfortunately, because they didn't find their target, it means it didn't leave a shot for Rowlands to come back to.
Scott, you require 20.
And so Scott Taylor, the defending champion, has burst the score. Incredibly. That was to eliminate Richard Rowlands. That was to send him through to the semi-finals. And this 115 is for the match. And how crucial could the 2 bounce outs be now, Scott?
Immensely crucial. It's treble 20. He needs another.
59. Scott, you require 20.
And so now Taylor returns. But he still cannot cross that finishing line.
Richard, you require 56.
He still cannot find that match-winning dart. And now Rowlands is going to have an opportunity to win the match himself. He's going to have 2 at tops. But he's now spurting an opportunity. Both players now have had darts to win this match.
The crowd getting very animated because this is tense, nervous, headache moment. 1 in his hand. Oh, right in the corner. Right in the corner from Scott Taylor. I think that showed the pressure of the situation, how that game ended. It's a 4-3 win in favour of Scott Taylor. It means Richard Rowland heads on up the road. Scott Taylor and Tommy Morris, they go through from Group 1. There's the tail of the tape, a 90 average there from Taylor, just shy of. mainly because of the missed doubles. He was running mid-90s all game. He will not be worried about that. He is now through to our semi-finals, and that's all he was aiming to do. We head into a short break, and we return with Aidan Kirk against Devon Peterson.
Needs him on 76 if the 135 doesn't go. Treble 20 for Bull. The bullseye.
110.
Not to be for Kirk on this occasion, and so
76.
Peterson, big passage of play. The difference between 3-1 and 2-2 is massive because Kirk has the darts in the next.
56. Aidan, you require 25.
Well, now Kirk has it in his hands. Not just this leg, but if he can win it the match. He's going to throw for it now. He moves 3-1 up. He breaks Peterson. But first things first. 2 darts in hand. A double 8 for a 4-1 victory for Aidan Kirk, which keeps him in the equation. As for Devon Peterson, he has got it all to do against Andy Davidson in the final game of Group 2. Both the matches have gone 4-1 on the left-hand side. If Peterson beats Davidson by that scoreline, he will be involved in a 9-dart shootout with the other 2 players. But the last match of Group 1 is to confirm who finishes top and who finishes second. It's Scott Taylor up against Tommy Morris. Plethora of time to take it out.
140.
For 3-0.
40.
No mistake, 13 darter, and Scott Taylor is beginning to motor through the gears.
Scott, you require 20.
Taylor wants double 10. Double 5. And the champion is 2 from 2. He is into the semi-finals. And he is still in with the chance of recapturing the trophy that he won back in February. He beats Tommy Morris in little over 7 minutes by 4 legs to 0, doing so with an 88.41 average. He'll expect that to rise as the night goes along. 50% on his doubles. For Tommy Morris, work to do ahead of his semi-final match. Coming up after the break, Group 2 is still up for interpretation. Devon Peterson's got it all to do up against Andy Davidson, who needs a couple of legs to secure his place into the semi-finals. In every single checkout is to save any hopes he has of making it through.
69. Andy requires 73.
73 for a place in the semi-finals. And the Super Scott will head through to the Final 4. It's been a debut week to remember for Andy Davidson. 20 ball. The bullseye. Pinned by Peterson. Perfectly in the middle of the diddle. Well, it's not going to be Peterson's night, but is this going to be Peterson's match? He misses the tops, and so Davidson will return for that particular target to seal a 4-3 win. And to make it 2 wins from 2 with a 13-darter in the decider. He gets the better of Devon Peterson by 4 legs to 3, who acknowledges the crowd, some of which have come to see him this evening. But for Andy Davidson, this dream debut run goes on. It goes into the semi-finals in a few moments' time. 3 180s, a 93.39 average, 4 from 13 on the doubles. Are we witnessing the emergence of a star here this evening? Davidson beats Peterson 4-3. Our semi-finals are now set in stone.
I'll tell you what that does to you as a player.
133.
It puts doubt. It embeds doubt between the lug holes. And then when you start getting to those doubles, you start trying too hard.
Scott, you require 132.
And the bigger issue here is Aidan is completely outscoring Scott now. Bullseye.
107.
Would have been for a champagne shot,
Aidan,
but it could be a case of champions reign over if this 32 goes, because Aidan Kirk could be 3-1 up. He'd only need one more to make it through to the final. It's a 13-darter for Aidan Kirk, and he's a leg away from ending Scott Taylor's reign.
In your head, that 177.
Double 12. And the captain dethrones the champion. Scott Taylor's reign as the Modus Super Series champion has come to an end.
Where he can be doing 45, 45 and 2 180s.
105.
He is himself on double 8 after 12. This has been a high-quality contest, actually getting better in numerics of 1 if Morris can pin this first time of asking, but it's going to be under
16.
maximum pressure. Double 4. What a contest this is becoming. Morris gets a hat-trick of breaks in this encounter. Have to take out this 108, you feel. He could do. He's got a dart in his hand. A double 18 for the Shanghai on 18s.
And you require 8.
And Davison makes no mistake. It's a 13 darter to bring it back to 2-2. This is for the first holder throw in this match. It's 3-2 Davidson, and the Davidson is a leg away from the final. Tommy Morris has got it all to do.
Look at it and throw at it, kidder.
30. And you require
Big
25.
chance gone begging.
It's double 8 for Davidson, and he is going to make it through to the final on debut. Andy Davidson is into the big money match. He is going to take on Aidan Kirk for the title and for a place at Champions Week. For Tommy Morris, it wasn't third time lucky at the semi-final hurdle. For Davidson, a 4-2 win, a 98.6 average, 4 from 5 on the doubles. It's the 2 from 8 on the outer ring that let Tommy Morris down in the end. And so we head through to the final, and we have a guarantee of a debutant winning here at the Super Series in week 11 as Andy Davidson takes on Aidan Kirk for the title and a place at Champions Week. Full chance, 64 to get the first leg on the board. One dart at double 16, and it could be a match down to moments like that. One dart in hand and taken, and it is by Aidan there, and he leads 1-0. That may have just opened up the door here.
Yeah, the thing that was going straight through my head, and this is one thing that Davidson has been very good at all week. It's when those doors open, stepping through them.
93. And he requires 61.
This for the break. Double 8 for the break, a 14 darter, and it is 2-1 to Andy Davidson, and he is halfway there.
Aidan, you require 110.
That was a visit from Davison where he was just trying to get his score down, wasn't it?
Game shot on a 4th leg, Aidan Kirk.
Pressure? What pressure?
And he requires
Must hit
55.
territory. Tops. Double 10. Is
35.
missed by the width of a wire.
Aidan, you require
And now
41.
Aidan Kirk comes back. Double 16. Doesn't go.
25.
He's missed 2 match darts. He's missed 2 championship
and you
darts.
require 20.
Is it written in the stars
Game shot on a
for this
6th leg,
Scottish star?
Andy Davidson.
A week which has been littered with drama, which has been littered with brilliance, is going to have one final
7th
crescendo,
final leg.
one
It's
final
Aidan to
leg.
throw first.
And for one of these
Game
debutants,
on.
an
Aidan, you
opportunity
require
at all.
154.
This would be some way to seal it. It's not going to happen. And so Andy Davidson from Edinburgh in
100.
Scotland is going to step forward
and you
now
require 35.
for the title. Double 16. Doesn't
19.
go. And Aidan Kirk is going to
Aidan,
get
you
2
require
more
54.
opportunities here to seal the title himself. He missed 2 in the previous leg. Double 10.
34.
That's now 4. 4
And you
mismatched
require
darts.
16.
And Davison comes back once more. Double 4.
8.
Both players have missed multiple match darts.
Aidan, you require 20.
I think this is showing you what it means to the players to be the champion of the week.
Double 10. Up for double 5. And it's
10.
still not in. And Davison comes back once more.
And you
Aidan Kirk has
require
missed a couple
8.
of handfuls now.
He'd have thrown those and thought they were going in. They are that close. Everyone would have felt they were going in.
But
Game
it is
shot.
debut
And the
delight
Super
for
Series
Davidson.
week 11
The
champion,
Super Scot
Andy
climbs to the
Davidson.
Super Series summit, and it will be he who will head to Champions Week.
Super stuff from Davidson. Absolutely super stuff. He had his mettle tested there at the end. His nerves were tested. We found a lot about him. Look at those averages. Not particularly good because look at those double checkout stats. 3 from 14, 4 from 13. But that was all on that last leg. Everything was about who could hold their nerve. Both had chances, but only one took them at the end. It's fantastic stuff from Aidan Kirk to be in this final by taking out Scott Taylor, but he comes up just short because of the Scotsman Andy Davison. He absolutely hit the double when he needed to. I'm not sure that it's actually sunk in with him that what he's actually achieved this week. He is now ready to talk to our roaming reporter, Henry Deacon.
Andy Davidson, have you got the words right now? Because it's been the dream week, hasn't it? You walked in the door, 33-1 outsider to win the week. You have now gone on and you're going to lift that title. You're going to make it through the Champions Week.
Oh, I honestly don't have any words, Henry. I really don't. I'm just over the moon to win that. I was so nervous against Aidan in our group game there, but wow, I can't believe it. I really can't believe it.
Let's begin with the ending then, and that final leg. I could see you at the back of the table there. You couldn't look.
Yeah.
You couldn't watch. Was there a point where you thought you blew it?
I wouldn't say I blew it, but Aidan played so well in that final that I felt I was doing okay. But yeah, I did feel I blew it, but he gave us another chance, and just that double 4 went in. My God.
That double 4, is it more hope than anything else?
Yes, 100%. I was the exact same in my first match with Aidan on that double 5 to win the game. That was just, it was more throwing in hope than expectation. It was just incredible.
Let's talk about this week in your own words. Monday morning, you stepped through modest expectations. I remember you walked into the interview room on Monday afternoon and you said, I didn't expect any of this. No. So no way you would have expected this now, would you? No,
not a chance. I felt I was playing well. As I said to you before, I felt I grew into the week, but I was almost back to square one in that first game today. I couldn't stop shaking when I was throwing, and I was fortunate to get the win because Aidan didn't quite turn up. But it was, after that, I felt, again, I played pretty solid, I felt. But, to be stood here as the Week 11 champion is just mad.
What's this going to do for yourself? What kind of springboard could this be for you as a darts player?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's, you mentioned I'm back at Champions Week, which will be another experience in itself. But again, I might have to give Q School a think now. I wasn't initially going to have a go at Q School in 2025, but I think after this, I've got to rethink my goals, I think.
I want to talk about your folks back home because the shipping in Dalkeith have been watching all of your progress all week. I can imagine that there's probably a bit of a party there right now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was unfortunate enough that they couldn't make it down. Obviously, it is a bit of a long way, so I can understand that. But yeah, my God, yes, they did say that they were going to put it on in the pub for us. And it's nice that a few folk have turned up for us and supported me from back home. It's great.
Best week of your darts life?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I said to you this morning, or even this evening, before play started, I still wasn't expecting anything, but this is just, honestly, I don't have any words.
And just finally, Champions Week you're in now, do you dare to dream with a big jackpot? Do you dare to dream to mix it with the likes of Bo Greaves, the likes of Neil Duff, the likes of Andreas Harrison, and maybe it might be your name that picks up the biggest jackpot here?
Well, why not? I mean, I felt I've played pretty well, certainly from Thursday through to Saturday. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be easy, and I will have to raise my level, I feel, but why not? Bring it on.
You ready to lift that trophy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, let me take that microphone out of your hands and we'll let you have your moment. Ladies and gentlemen, your Week 11 champion is Andy Davidson!
Yeah, Andy Davidson, look at him. He is taken aback by winning that trophy. It's been such a special week, Scott. You can see he's overcome with what he's just achieved. But that's just one of the things here at the Super Series, isn't it? Some weeks it is season stars, other times it is the unearthing of diamonds, and that might have happened with Davidson.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen weeks where similar things have happened and they've come up just short. This week hasn't been the case. He has been the find for sure in the darting world this week. And as we said earlier, he topped Group A on Monday and he didn't feel comfortable at the top of the group. And it's easy then to look at it and go, well, I was playing great on Monday, and go through the week and peter out. He didn't do that, and I'm sure everybody at the ship at Dalkeith will have been watching that tonight, and they will be proud of their boy, and quite rightly they should be, because he's put on some performance this week, and it's ended in, a little bit of stuttering over the line for him, but look, he's over the line, and when you win big things then start happening in your career, so I think we're going to see a bit more of this lad.
Yeah, more on that in a second. They certainly will be proud if they look at this, because his name is now on our list of weekly winners here at the Modus Super Series. He's through to Champions Week. And as I mentioned, it's alongside some very established names. Neil Duff's a former world champion. Bradley Roof's a former world youth champion. Andreas Harrison has won here before. The likes of Scott Mitchell haven't even made it there. But Andy Davidson on that list, it must be a great feeling to look at that and see yourself there.
Well, if he was in awe of the players that he was with this week, having Devon and the likes of Tommy, when he looks at that list, when he gets back, he's got a week to deal with this. He's got a week to deal with this and come to terms with that. But what he needs to remember is all those names now know who he is, where they didn't at the start of the week. And they're being impressed with him like we have been. He's had real metal and steel, and throw him in amongst those. I think he'll be as happy as a pig in Chardonnay.
Very nicely put, the words of Stephen Fry. Look, he hasn't just, if anyone's just watched tonight, we've seen much better from him this week, haven't we? Particularly in Group B over the last couple of nights. He had 110 average against Scott Taylor. Who knows how high his ceiling is?
I don't think he knows. And that's the lovely bit about a raw dart player. They don't know how high their ceiling is. So I think we're going to see more of him. There's definitely things that he can work on, and it's consistency he can work on. But I'll tell you what, if I was playing like that at this particular moment in time, I wouldn't be too worried about playing anybody.
Your biggest darting day at any point is always a huge achievement, and this is his. He's just said it. What would have been going through his mind the moment he hit that winning double?
I think he would have been in shock. I don't think he would quite believe what's happened. I think the reaction immediately, he couldn't believe that it had happened. And I think sometimes for new guys like this, this may not sink in till he's on his way home tomorrow. It may not sink in till he gets back to the ship, his local pub, or whatever it is, or till he gets back to work. You know, and the people around him realise what he's done, because he's kind of isolated down here on his own. It's till he goes back home and sees the reaction from the people around him. I don't think it'll actually sink in till then.
Yeah, and it was a really tense end to the final, wasn't it? Let's not forget Aidan Kirk himself missed 7 match darts before Davidson, who missed a few himself, stepped in to win it. You can see the bewilderment on the face of Kirk as he goes back, and then Davidson finally gets it done. And you're right, it hadn't sunk in at that moment, and even when he got his hands on the trophy, we saw him staring at it for a good while there. It's such a huge moment for him, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think Aidan Kirk's reaction was superb. The easiest thing he could have done is been really down for himself, but he looked genuinely happy for Andy, and I think that shows the class of Aidan Kirk. It really does, and I think that a shame for Aidan, because I think he's really been on the rise, and he'll just have to sort of not carry this one around with him. It's a big defeat. It will hurt. It will hurt, and he's the sort now that has to drive on from this and continue what he's doing at the Challenge Tour. And who knows, at number 3, we could see him at the end of the year back in the Pro Tours.
And it is the magic of the Super Series, isn't it? Look, earlier tonight we mentioned the new affiliation with the African Darts Group, but we've got a long-standing affiliation with the Amateur Darts Circuit. And we have seen some talents really unearthed. It reminds me of Adam Warner, who won here in our first year at the Super Series and went on to invest that money in going to Q School and got himself a tour card. We just heard Andy saying that he might do something similar.
Yeah, he wasn't saying that on Monday when we were talking to him. He was saying, well, how can I go to Q School? What's that all about? Now, he'll have belief, and there'll be people that believe in him and that want to help him go to Q School. And I, for one, would like to see him there, because I think he'd really put the cat amongst the pigeons if he keeps playing like that.
Yeah, absolutely sensational. It's been good fun tonight, Scott. Thanks for your time. We're just going to have a little chat about next week as well, because it's the last week before Champions Week. You'll be back pretty soon, but next week some big names. We saw them before. Rusty Jake Rodriguez, a debutant. We've got the likes of Andy Bolton and Cam Crabtree coming in. Is there a name in your mind who you think will complete the lineup?
I'm hoping it's Cam Crabtree. He's one of my England teammates, and I've got to know the young man very well. But I know that, you know, you've got the likes of Joe Mann, very experienced. Like I say, Rusty Jake, he's not going to come here and roll over and have his tummy tickled. I think also, with the fact that it's the last week, there's a certain amount of pressure on all 12 because of that anyway. You know, I always find, and when I'm watching week 12, I think there's a certain amount of pressure, particularly the first couple of days. But yeah, I think whoever makes the lineup of that last 12 players will actually complete the Champions Week in a lovely fashion. And I think we'll have a bit of everything out of the 12 players in Champions Week now anyway.
Yeah, and Scott Taylor won it last time from winning week 12. Scott, thanks for your company tonight as always. It's been a fantastic night. The action gets back underway from 9:30 for the start of week 12. Of course, next Saturday, the Champions Week lineup will be filled. But tonight, the defending champion, Scott Taylor, was toppled. Andy Davidson breaking through, a real star born here at the Super Series. And there will be a new king or queen at the end of Series 7. It could be him, or maybe it will come from next week.
And that's even better.
For double 16. Oh, it's remarkable.
Here's one of them coming.
Games on the first flag.
This is for another break of throw.
Games on the third flag.
To the ball.
Game shot.
That's all he needs.
The break of throw.
Shot on the
Right
second
in
leg.
the middle.
He'll be down to Darren Johnson in the next match.
Only need the one at double 16. He only needs the one at double 16.
Game shot on the first
Mine's
flag.
double 13.